Hi, everyone, and welcome to the Hedera DevDay and ETHDenver recap general community call. We're joined today by some absolutely awesome people. We've got Ed Marquez from DevRel, Phil from HashPack, HBar 1000 from DOVU, Alyson from Events and Growth Marketing, Michael Kantor from Hashgraph Online, James from Neuron, and Rafael. How are you guys all doing today?
Hey, good. Doing awesome. Hey. Thanks for the invitation.
Great.
Glad to have you here. So, Alyson, do you want to give us a little bit of an intro about Hedera DevDay? Unfortunately, I couldn't be there, so I'm really glad to, or really excited to see what happened, get the recap.
Yeah, let's do it. So, very excited to be here. Thank you all for having me. My name is Alyson, and I'm the Events and Growth Marketing Manager at Hashgraph, and today I'm going to be talking about all things DevDay. So for those of you that weren't able to make it to DevDay, it happened on February 17th in Denver, Colorado, which was a day before ETHDenver conference. And we hosted it at this venue called ETHDenver, and we basically transformed the space into a Northern Lights winter ski cabin resort experience for our builders. So we ran a scavenger hunt to incentivize people to participate in activities throughout the day. We booked out an 8-bar coffee shop for people to co-work and take meetings. And we also hosted a closing happy hour with our signature drinks like the Hasharita and the Gossip and Tonic. And so with programming in the morning, we had main stage sessions with technical talks. So Richard, our VP of Engineering, did a talk on protocol roadmap update. We had Lehman and Bohit, who is our head of cryptography. They had a fireside chat on the security of our network and the Hashgraph consensus. And we also presented other topics on EVM, block nodes, Blockstream, and so on. And then in the afternoon, we also had hands-on technical workshops on cross-chain development, smart contracts, EVM, and privacy. And if you weren't there, don't worry, all of the content were live streamed and recorded, and you'll be able to find everything and watch it yourself on YouTube. And because we wanted to make it a hands-on event, so in the afternoon, we also ran these interactive stations. So we had the community builder stations featuring all of our ecosystem projects here, which they're gonna dive into a little bit later after my section. And then we also had topical station staff by the Hedera experts. So we had people talking about HashSphere, Hedera Studios, the Asset Tokenization Studio, the Stablecoin Studio, and the Guardian. There's the AI Agent Station, developer tooling, Hyro, speed typing game that runs on HCS, and our security team also ran a capture the flag activity. So yeah, a lot going on that day.
Awesome. And what was the main objective behind Hedera DevDay this year?
Yeah, so as some of you may remember, last year we hosted the first HederaCon. We had a main stage with thought leadership content and also a technical stage with more hands-on workshop. And one of the biggest takeaways from HederaCon was that our ecosystem is very mature. We have a lot of amazing builders and projects, and what we really needed was a dedicated space just for our community, and that was my whole intention behind DevDay. So there were three key objectives for DevDay, and the first is increase qualified developer engagement, and we enabled that with our afternoon hands-on technical workshops. The second one is to drive application builds and adoption of the Hedera network, and that could be creating more testnet accounts, generating developer activity on the testnet, and also eventually on the mainnet. And third is develop post-event content. As I mentioned, the event was recorded, so we're going to use all those recordings for any tutorials, building, and just developer education in the future. So pretty much in a nutshell, DevDay was tailored specifically for our community, and hopefully, yeah, we can bring it back again next year, just like HederaCon.
Awesome. And can you share any key headline numbers as well? You know, how many people were there?
So we had about 780 people register for the event, and we had under 200 people check into the venue throughout the day. And of those people that showed up in person, about 40% of them were technical. And because it was live streamed, during the day, we had over 8,000 viewers join in on all of our live stream platforms on the day of.
Awesome. That's incredible. I'm Well, I'm upset I missed it. I would have loved to have been there. Let's get some ecosystem perspective. Phil, can you let us know how you got on there and what you enjoyed?
It was awesome. Really was awesome. I hopped on. It was Monday. The main event, of course, was Tuesday. And in my legacy career, I've held a couple events like those. And I can say that this was very well orchestrated. Again, from the guest speeches to the pacing of the entire show. The booth was really great. Visual design also on there was really strikingly good. Like Alyson mentioned, also the coffee shop, and it was a great addition to that. So really like a great pool, great ambience, great vibe to it, really to have great conversations. Outstanding also guest speeches. One come to mind is, I've said that all weeks on all the shows that I've been on. Richard Baer, VP Engineering, gave a master class, especially around moonshots, that really inspired me. But yeah, overall, awesome show, just to have great conversations and meeting people firsthand for the first time. Ed, James, Julian from DOVU, Rafa, all the friends, all of their collaborators and partners. It was awesome.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Julian, what did you think about DevDay?
It was really great. I'd like to echo Phil's sentiments. The vibe was fun and energetic. The decor was cool, but it was really about the technical mindset. A lot of people were really interested in what we were building. Obviously, the talks were fantastic, but for me, there was just so much intrigue around, obviously, Hedera, what was new, but also what the ecosystem builders were doing. And so everyone was really, wanting to learn more, and we had some really great conversations, and it was a great event.
Awesome. Michael, how about yourself?
Yeah, really echo a lot of the sentiment here. I think the events team at Hedera has outdone themselves, especially with the ambiance of the venue. So unique and so cool. I love the Winter Wonderland theme that you guys put together. I think the event was highly technical. You got a lot of developers engaged in the ecosystem. I was definitely stoked on my side to be able to talk to a lot of the folks who are building or creating things using the HCS specifications that we've got in Hyro now. I think overall, really great event, lots of cool technical content. This was an event for the real builders in the ecosystem.
Awesome, glad to hear it. James, how did you find it over at Neuron?
So I just realized I'm on mute. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, we can hear you.
I'm trying to find the right button, but yeah, no, it was fantastic. Really enjoyed sort of catching up with everyone. Met all of the guys around the table here today, which was excellent. And I think previous conferences that I've been to with Hedera, they've been a lot more mixed, whereas it was nice actually to focus on the technical content with this one, having developers in the room, having people asking you clever questions or difficult questions even sometimes. We had a live feed of aircraft tracking on the screen, so when people were coming over, they could sort of see what traffic was going on and around Denver. And I was pleasantly surprised when I turned up actually that we had about 8 community sensors that registered on Hedera in and around the Denver area. So we actually had incredibly great coverage. So it was great to showcase some technology working and talk to some of the community who some of which they sort of came up to me and said, "Hey James," and I'm kind of like, "Oh, who are you?" So it was really good fun, and I think the vibes were great, and great to catch up with some of the guys within the community.
Awesome, glad to hear it. Rafa, how about yourself?
Yeah, well, it was amazing. It was my first time in Denver, and we could see how many different projects are and how they contribute to improving the network. The talks were really interesting, and I really like the direction things are heading. But as Phil said, I think one of the most important things for us was that finally meeting people face to face. Yeah, I think that's really good for us and for the ecosystem.
Awesome. And did any of you guys identify any meaningful partnerships or integrations while you were there, networking and talking to each other?
Yeah, definitely. I think the timing was significant for us because right before the DevDay, we joined Mika Crypto Alliance. We launched our new products, Kabila V3, and we released a new branch that it is Ravalta. So I think it was a great opportunity for us to expand our network of contacts.
Awesome. And Ed, saving the best till last. Give us a little rundown. I saw you were hosting it, looking great.
Thank you. I mean, it was fantastic hearing all the different perspectives, but also seeing people in person, right? Just connecting, getting to ask questions about the projects, the integrations, the opportunities. I think that basically is priceless when you're able to join these events. And certainly the content was a highlight for me. Really enjoyed hearing from Richard, a lot of the Hashgraph engineers, seeing the stations from our ecosystem. And then that talk from Lehman on cryptography and quantum, that was just awesome. So I know I've been watching the live stream recording a few times, but I'm looking forward to like the dedicated video sessions just to go deep into some of those cool topics like block nodes, the Hedera EVM, and some of the workshops in the afternoon that I try to follow along as well. So that was certainly awesome. And then getting to hang out with people from the community, not only at the event, but also we did a few dinners with a few of them. And so for those who we got to connect with, it was really amazing. And there are folks who are not in the call that we also got to connect with, people that have been part of our hackathons, people that are ambassadors in the community. So again, just being able to network and hang out with folks face to face, know what they're working on, maybe what their pain points are, maybe what's working well. That to me is one of the most valuable aspects of these type of events. And finally, a huge kudos to Alyson, the events team, and all the ecosystem folks that came together to make that event such a huge success for the developer ecosystem of the Hedera network.
Awesome. And so, out of all of you guys, whose booth was the most popular? Who got the most foot traffic? I want to start.
Pretty sure it was mine.
DOVU's,
it was just
Julian's,
non-stop flow. I didn't have enough time to hang out with Phil, but we did have a great time anyway. So
I do personally think that Neuron had the coolest booth just because they had the 4D sky of all the airplanes in the Denver area. I thought that was so cool. And I do think a lot of people kind of came over just to go and see the 4D sky map.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm gutted I missed it. I watched the live stream and it looked incredible. Looked absolutely incredible. Ed, I know we've also had the ETHDenver hackathon that was running in tandem with DevDay. Do you want to give us a little rundown about that and how things look?
Absolutely. I mean, I can share more broadly about the week because we had a ton going on last week. There was DevDay. There was also the hackathon for ETHDenver. We also had a capture the flag activity. And so that was focused on teaching developers and helping them to get hands-on security best practices. So that was another opportunity to get extra prizes, do some extra learning and hands-on activities. And then we also kicked off the same day of DevDay, the Hello Future Apex Hackathon. So that's a 5-week hackathon. It's global, it's virtual, where anyone can sign up. So it worked really well because folks coming over to DevDay, they were signing up also for the ETHDenver hackathon. Folks from the ETHDenver hackathon were being also funneled to the overall Apex hackathon. So all of that, was really a great set of opportunities to engage with developers in the Web3 space, people maybe from Web2 checking out ETHDenver, and of course with our great Hedera community that was there. Many of them I know took advantage of those opportunities that we had with the scavenger hunt at DevDay, with the capture the flag. I think Rafa might have been a winner to that capture the flag activity. And so that was just a great week of activities and developer engagement. Now, more specific to ETHDenver, I think that was a great success. It was a fantastic experience. And we got like 52 submissions to that hackathon. Now, that's over a span of like less than a week, which is amazing. And the quality was also phenomenal. In fact, I've been doing that conference for 5 years, and this is the best one so far. I remember when I first joined, I mean, we first started with very low numbers, and there were big players getting all the market share. And now being able to get about a third of the total submission volume is awesome and speaks volume about the traction that Hedera is getting in the market. So I think partially that success was due to great bounties, but also the focus that the event had this year. Maybe some people who have been there before said, oh, the conference is smaller, but I think that was a great or a positive because there was very high signal to noise ratio. It was very good. And for many, it's a bear market, but the developers that were there are focused and they're committed to build, right? So, during the bear, you build. And so I think that was the mindset and the philosophy that we saw there. And that also speaks to market maturity. The folks that we were seeing there in the hackathon, there were very little speculative use cases. And I think the focus was around value creation, real world impact, and real world usage. So all of that was reflected in the submissions that we got for the hackathon.
Awesome. And what was the strongest hackathon submission that you saw, and what were the prize pools there as well?
Yeah, that's a great point. So we had 4 different bounties. We wanted people to build on AI and agentic society. So we had a bounty for OpenClaw. That was a hit. So credit to Jay Cool for coming up with that one, and also credit to the DevRel team for giving us input and helping shape all the bounties that we had there. But certainly the OpenClaw bounty, so huge traffic. We were giving out about $10,000 to the winning team for that. There was only one team that took that big prize home. And then we also saw great representation for the other bounties, which were encouraging devs to build with the Hedera schedule service for smart contracts, also with the Hedera SDKs, and finally with the Hedera CLI. So all of those saw very good submissions. Specific to your first question about the most compelling projects, I mean, I was mind blown by many of those. The one that got the OpenClaw bounty, I would love to see them return to some of our hackathons, especially the Apex one. But it was a project called Claw Street, and they did a really solid implementation of an agentic marketplace. They were incorporating ERC 8004 for agentic identity. They got to use UCP, the new commerce protocol, for facilitating the agent-to-agent commerce. And the mind-blowing part is, like, in a week, they got a really awesome demo of all these specialized agents talking to each other, and really completing complex tasks based on the prompts and needs from human users and agentic users. So that was pretty awesome. And then there was another one that was pretty mind-blowing. It was called Hive, and that was done by like a group of veterans, people who have been part of different hackathons, maybe some ambassadors that teamed up and build something pretty awesome. It was basically monetizing IoT device data and also specialized agentic information or output, right? Like specializing your agent and being able to monetize that expertise. So really interesting stuff overall. And I could go on and on, with like the 50 plus submissions that we saw, but I think those were certainly some of the highlights.
Awesome. And what happens next for these teams? You said there about the Apex Hackathon. Could you tell us a little bit about the Apex Hackathon and see if we can get some more people to sign up to that?
I would love for everybody watching this to go and sign up, create your teams. You can also participate solo. And that's going until March 23rd. So you're going to have the opportunity to link with many of the folks in this call. Many of these folks are participating as partners, so they can give you mentorship, expertise, the ability to network. You also have the opportunity to build towards AI, tokenization, DeFi, ESG, DePIN, and more. I believe there's also a continuation track. So if you've been building in a previous hackathon, maybe you're coming from ETHDenver or DevDay, you can bring those ideas and continue executing towards those. And yeah, on February 23rd or March 23rd, that's when we'll know basically how many folks we got submitting to this. And then in about a month, we'll know the winners, a month after March 23rd. In terms of what happens next, we're going to offer incredible opportunities for the rest of the year. So there will be more hackathons, so stay tuned for that. But one thing that I'm excited about is an incubator-like program. I think this is one of the first times that I'm talking about this in public. There's going to be more actual promotion coming, and information. But effectively, we're going to have smaller cohorts, right? More focused teams from those winning projects and helping them with expertise, resources, mentoring to help them refine their business models, help them refine their technical solution and implementation, and see how close we can get them to mainnet deployments or, to a more mature state so that your solution is in a much, much better place and you take advantage of all this work that you've done throughout these hackathons. So I think that's a very exciting aspect. And then I think another great opportunity that I do want to mention is, and this is for everyone, it's also HederaCon, right? Whether people joined us from DevDay or from the ETHDenver hackathon, from Apex, from these community calls, certainly want to invite everyone to join us and share with your networks HederaCon, which is going to be on May 4th. Pretty easy to remember if you're a Star Wars fan. But that's going to be in Miami with Consensus, right? And there's going to be also a Formula One around that weekend. So if you're in town, certainly want everybody checking out HederaCon. And so in terms of next steps, that's a few of the options that folks have available to them.
Awesome. And Alyson, I know you've had a huge hand in organizing HederaCon. Could you tell us a little bit more about it and what people can expect?
Sure, yeah. So as Ed mentioned, we're bringing HederaCon back again this year. It's now our annual user conference. It's going to be the day before Consensus Miami on May 4th. So it's at Faena Forum in South Beach. And basically, we want to position this as an event happening during F1, Miami Grand Prix, and Consensus. It's where all of our builders, council members, policymakers, enterprises, industry leaders all come together for this wonderful event. Yesterday, we just announced over 70 speakers. So you'll expect to hear a lot of really amazing content from speakers like FedEx, our new governing council member, BTCC, Coinbase, Ripple, Dell, Chainlink, and so on. So yeah, if you are attending Consensus or if you plan on joining us at HederaCon, it is literally hedera.com/HederaCon. And yeah, hope to see everyone there.
Awesome. And is there going to be another Capture the Flag event? Is Rafa going to win some more prizes?
Maybe we can bring it back, and maybe the scavenger hunt as well.
Awesome. And going back to ETHDenver and the Builders booth, how was traffic and engagement at the Hedera's Builders booth?
I thought the traffic was pretty steady and engagement was great. There was a lot of people that were interested in Hedera and wanted to learn more about Hedera, but also about DOVU. I was at the booth every day, and it was pretty popping. It was filled with people that had a genuine interest in new tech and specifically around EVM compatibility. And there's also a lot of people that didn't know about Hedera. Didn't know it was an L1, didn't understand some of the features of the Hashgraph algorithm. So it was actually really fun to be able to educate people and talk about a lot of the features of the Hedera network that are unique, and also to present our new product, DOVU's new product Flows, which is launching soon, and get people onto DOVU.ai, our new website, and talk about the use cases that we offer and the different types of problems that we're solving.
Awesome. Rafa, what did you win on the as your prize?
It went really well. We were lucky because we were there on Wednesday morning, and there were a lot of people. Mm-hmm. So we saw a lot of interest in Hedera, and the fact that Hedera had the 25,000 bounty at the hackathon, I think brought a lot of builders from different ecosystems. So yeah, I think that's a huge opportunity for Hedera and for our projects to be more known. It was really nice.
Awesome. And were there any standout conversations that you had or where the market is heading, or what was your favorite conversation from DevDay?
I would say most of the conversation went about the AI. I think that's the common topic nowadays. But yeah, many people were surprised about the fees, about the speed, and about how easy it is to build on Hedera, because you can use different SDKs for that. And another important point was the EVM compatibility. I think this allows other ecosystem to build on Hedera. So I think it was really interesting, this feature for the people in the ETHDenver.
Awesome. How about yourself, James? think you might still be on mute.
Oh, muted.
I'm sorry, my screen is slowing down. There's too many people on here, but so apologies for that. But no, I think the key points from sort of I was hearing was as really, you know, that the ecosystem's maturing. I think that probably applies across Web3 as well. I think you're now starting to see a movement towards sort of, I call it like Web 2.5, where you have real businesses using blockchain and Web3 technology to build products out, rather than kind of just this metaverse that we all live in the Web3 world sometimes, where you know, the real world kind of is sort of separated from the Web3 world. So I think what you're now starting to see is that sort of transition towards sort of real world applications and moving in that direction. You obviously with AI agents as well. I think this is a huge theme at the moment. You know, I know Michael from Hashgraph Online is, you know, well, we're part of the DAO, but you know, there's some really great work going on there around the standardization of how agents can interact. You know, you've got 8004, ERC 8004, which has been great. You've got X402 for payments. You're starting to see a lot of really interesting Web3 AI technologies now. And that sort of transition now from the digital into the physical world. And I think this is kind of like where the momentum is right now. I think AI is, you know, Web3 is perfect for AI, because, you know, if you ask an AI agent whether it wants to be registered on a centralized cloud or whether it wants to be set free in the metaverse, I imagine the AI agent would prefer the metaverse and have that sort of control of itself. So I think that Web3 technology sort of lends itself perfectly into this ecosystem. And you know, obviously Hedera with its sort of predictable fees and being denominated in dollars, in USD, I think this is sort of one of the key aspects actually that really stands out for enterprise customers, especially. Where they want to know what their costs are. You know, if you're going to be doing a forecast in your, you know, in your financials, you want to know that what your fees are going to cost throughout the year, and you need to model that. If the price goes up because someone posted a cat meme, then you know that's kind of not a situation that most enterprises will, you know, are happy with. So I think that this aspect is really important for Hedera.
For sure. Michael, you were name dropped there when James was talking about some AI agents and things. Could you tell us a little bit more about that and what you've been working on?
Yeah, I mean, well, at HLO, we create open source specifications. We built over 20 of them, and they've done over 34 million transactions on mainnet. We had a really cool booth at DevDay, and we were giving up some HLO points as part of that booth. But in a nutshell, you know, we're heading very, very fast into a world where there's going to be billions, if not trillions, of AI agents. Every single person in this room will probably have 2 or 3 of these running from their phone, their laptop. Every single employee at every major company will have one. Every major company will probably have their own private registry for agents, right? And when you get to that level of scale, and these numbers, I'm saying billions and trillions, by the way, is also covered by MIT at NANDA and the work that they're doing. Right, so this is not speculation. This is just where things are kind of heading. Like what happened when the internet was first created and became easily accessible to everyone after we got past the floppy disk era with AOL. Eventually, we all got computers and we started to create things, and we put them on MySpace. And then the phone came along, and now every single person on the planet can have access to the internet. Now take that and 100x it to the amount of compute that's needed for AI agents. And think about what that's going to change. NVIDIA just announced they created a new chip that reduces the cost of compute by 10x. And you have AI labs like Liquid Nanos that are working to make large language models exponentially cheaper and easier to use. And you get to this level of scale, and I'm talking about billions, if not trillions, of these AI agents. How are they going to talk to each other? How are they going to discover each other? And how are we going to prove consensus? And the way that we're going to do that is through the High-Rope Consensus Service and through Hedera. Because like James mentioned, Hedera has predictable fees. This is great if you're a CFO, you know exactly how things cost. And you can create these inter-relational mappings of AI agents through the registries and specifications that we're working on, and trust. So we've created this thing called the HL registry, which is a 2 of 3 consensus. that enables anyone to eventually run their own registry broker, subscribe to the agents that they want to subscribe to, and anyone else on the other side from any part of the planet to go and find and talk to these agents, all powered through HCS.
Awesome. That sounds incredible. Is anyone else here working on some incredible AI projects? James, Rafa, Julian?
Yeah, we're definitely focused on AI and the agentic economy. We have built trust infrastructure on Hedera that allows us to capture context around the decision making, and that's really important for people that are prompting agents to do tasks for them, and then other agents interacting with other agents. There's going to be so much data that needs to have context wrapped around it as far as what decision making led to these actions taking place, and what type of accountability is there. So we're working really hard on that because it's a very important piece of our tech, and obviously its use is going to become, it's moving so fast that what we've been building for years is suddenly super relevant today and even more relevant tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah, and we're at Neuron, we're basically building not AI agents, but data agents. So, everyone sort of thinks, when they think agents, they think AI immediately. But agents have been around for a long time. They just have a goal and have to have some kind of automation to them. But we're installing 8004 agents on board sensors that basically mean that other AI agents can actually ingest that data from sensors directly, communicate with them, connect to them, and all of those sort of connections are orchestrated through HCS. So we're using the HCS service through Hedera to orchestrate those connections, and also the smart contract service for registering them, for registering those agents. But they're kind of like agents that sit at the edge. So and a lot of AI agents, you build them on your server or on your home computer and let them rip. These kind of devices may sit out in industrial areas or on top of people's roofs, but they have these agents on board, and their job is basically to try and sell as much data as possible to customers. And we're using all of the standards that are coming out, which is great to see so many standards being built. ERC 8004 has seen huge adoption, and having that on Hedera has been great. Now we're sort of starting to go and get to that next step, which is how do we sort of automate things in the real world, so robots and autonomous vehicles, drones, things like this, and these kind of physical equipment, they need access to a lot of data. So this is kind of an area that we're focusing on in that agent sphere.
Awesome. I can't wait to see it live. Michael, I think you're going to be heading off shortly, aren't you? So is there anything else you'd like to say to the community whilst you're here before you go?
Yeah, I think, again, big thing. I actually just got off a workshop for the Apex Hackathon. There's $250,000 in prizes there. And if you are interested in shipping and building something in the Hedera ecosystem, I highly encourage you to participate. Especially, and I said this during the call, if you feel like you have some imposter syndrome, you're not ready, this is the best, most democratized moment to get involved and actually ship something in AI in general. You have tools like Claude, you have tools like Codex. There's no reason, if you have a good idea, for you not to enter this hackathon and ship something. Just don't deploy it to mainnet without getting a security audit, but definitely participate in the hackathon, put something on testnet and get involved. And through that workshop, we have a bounty. There's 100,000 HWAL points that we're giving away. And I think Hashgraph's also giving away additional $8,000 for folks who enter that bounty. So it's a really great opportunity. I believe Neuron also has a bounty here, and I'm sure some other folks as well in this call. I just don't remember off the top of my head. So I think that's going to be a really exciting moment. And if there's anyone in the community that needs support, technical integrations, marketing, reach out to our team, and we're happy to help. Again, big thank you to the Hashgraph team for putting on an incredible event at DevDay. It was a blast. I really loved all the talks, especially the one with Lehman talking about cryptography. I thought that was really, really cool. And I know there's a lot of folks who are wondering about what a post-quantum world looks like. And that was, the panel to really pay attention to if you're interested. I think the spoiler alert is that there is a pathway on Hedera to be post-quantum, and that's really exciting. So again, thanks everyone. Appreciate your time.
Thanks very much, Michael. See you later.
Great meeting you in person,
Bye,
Michael.
James, you mentioned there Neuron has a bounty for this latest hackathon. Do you want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so so the challenge is, we've got these flight tracking sensors that are now being distributed by the community out there in the physical world, and tracking aircraft and drones and helicopters and all sorts of other things. Basically, one of the challenges we have as part of that hackathon is there's a concept called multilateration. And the idea is, if you get a really accurate timestamp for when signals are received from multiple sensors, you can then triangulate the position of the aircraft, because some aircraft don't have GPS on board and they don't actually broadcast their position down to the ground. They just broadcast their sort of call sign or ICAO number. So it's like their sort of registration plate, essentially, digital registration plate. Problem is, with those types of aircraft, you can't actually find the position. So we've set a challenge for this hackathon where, if there's any developers sort of listening, you can take this timing information, and then there's already a lot of information online about multilateration, or MLAT for short. And we've basically set the challenge for people to be able to develop their own multilateration algorithm to be able to compute the position of aircraft. So this is an actual real world use case that is really important. We've developed an algorithm ourselves. We're hoping that someone will be able to build a better one, or be able to give us some ideas and some thoughts around how to improve that. I think there's around about, if I'm right, around about $8,000 to $10,000 worth of prizes for that particular competition. So yeah, I'm really excited to see the entries that we get for that. It's a really technical challenge. So if you've got any really deep tech people on here who like challenging big challenges, then this is a great challenge for them.
Yeah, for sure, and it's got a real world impact as well, which is incredible. It's really, really good. Phil, I know you're ingrained in our community, and I see you on Discord all the time helping everyone out, and it's absolutely awesome. So I want to jump to you here and sort of ask, what can the community expect in the next 6 to 12 months? What are you seeing? What are the trends that you're seeing at the minute?
I would be a fool not to mention AI, right? For sure, more collaborations is what I'm seeing. Of course, we have one of our key friends, also Kiva Comics, also developing a great platform in terms of integrations of having this entire processes of just creating comics, just for folks out there who want to have some fun. It really is retail facing in terms of, albeit the tech, you can just create from A to Z the entirety of the comics. So that's really great. There's also Starfall V also, who dabbles into AI with AI agents, also with animations, cool animes. There's also DreamBay.io also that's coming up. I think that's Christopher is also putting up quite the extensive platform also for collectibles. There's also gaming's on there, AI components also in searches and the whole nine. So I would say for what we were saying earlier in the introduction, the ecosystem really has matured to a point where we're coming up with confidence. We're coming up to the point where we can really keep on crafting cool stuff with AI, with collectibles, with all great sorts of use cases that can be relevant both for smaller audience, but also for the entire ecosystem. So yeah, I would say more collaborations, even more connections, and yeah, it's going to be fun.
Awesome, glad to hear it. And how have you found Hedera's community shift over the years?
It's been awesome. It really been we spoke about the mindshare earlier on, and I feel like the more we advance into this, especially this year, it's been accelerating a lot. Case in point for us, we just shipped our cross-chain swaps with Lex Exchange, and it came up to a point where the ecosystem also was ready. And that vertical was definitely a need because we had XRP folks, and then we had Solana folks, Ethereum folks also, and we had a magnificent conversation over a Dev Day around great use cases that, abstracting the tech as much as possible, and now you're talking about the same stuff. So I would say the main narrative for that is that how much Hedera is so very well positioned in terms of great verticals, great integrations, and really have this mass adoption we've been wanting for so long while hiding the wires. yeah, I feel that's the huge part of the narrative.
Awesome. How about yourself, Julian? How have you felt the community has embraced DOVU? It's been a huge part. I see it everywhere, on Reddit, on the Discord, everywhere.
Yeah, our community is fantastic. It's been growing a lot, and over the years we've had so many people join us and really get into the details about what we're building, and really inquisitive community members that want to know everything, and that's really great to see. There's people that are interested in using our platform, and as we talk about the maturing of the ecosystem, being at ETHDenver and talking to people that really don't understand yet maybe how mature the Hedera ecosystem is, and the DOVU ecosystem. I mean, we have obviously live assets that are on chain, that are being bought and sold through a marketplace, and people were like, oh, like that's a surprise. Of course, we forget that our community knows so much about what we're doing, and the broader market outside of the 5,000 people in our Discord don't know as much yet. And so learning that we have like $1 billion contract on the books was really surprising for a lot of people that know a little bit about DOVU but aren't really in the Discord or on the Twitter as often. So seeing that growth the last year or two really grow exponentially has been really exciting and fun, and we have such a warm and welcoming and knowledgeable community that is out there to share information, educate people on what we're building. So it's not just left to the team anymore. It's not just, and obviously I came from the community as well. And that's fantastic to see so many people, that are here working with companies like Phil at HashPack, and obviously Patches. And there's so many great success stories of people that came from the community, are now working and building things and creating their own opportunities and utilizing Hedera. And that's really fantastic to see.
Awesome. And for someone who's tuning into this live stream right now, who might not have heard of DOVU, could you give us a quick, what is DOVU?
Right. So we tokenize RWA. We build audit trails on Hedera, proving not just what happened and when, but who initiated actions. This audit trail tracks all types of assets, and we're showing different use cases on our new website, DOVU.ai. Supply chain use cases, AI and automation use cases. So beyond just asset tokenization, but really proving what happened, why it happened, what decision-making processes led to those actions taking place. And it's all timestamped on Hedera Consensus Service, and it doesn't have to necessarily revolve around an actual asset being minted on Hedera Token Service, although that's our specialty is sustainability assets, has been for years. And we have through our marketplace, there's biodiversity credits, carbon credits that are tokenized on chain. And that problem, we took a few years to solve that problem. Traceability, proof of origin, tracking the life cycle of an asset from its origin all the way through to sale and retirement, eliminating any chance of greenwashing or double spend or fraud within that market. And so solving that has been a really important step for carbon markets and for DOVU and for Hedera, but it's also expanded beyond that. We have other types of RWA assets that can be tokenized and tracked through our audit trail on Hedera, and also, like I said, supply chain, and there's a lot of use cases with AI and agent-to-agent communication that really needs to be on the trust layer, have context wrapped around it, have everything documented, time-stamped, and public, so that people can see this is what happened, this is who was interacting, verified credentials and decentralized identity, proving which actors, which real-world verified organizations were saying yes, this is real, or this was me that that interacted here or authenticated this asset, and having all that documented publicly so that people can come and see that at any point in time and know that it's proof of truth.
Awesome. And do you guys have any bounties on this latest hackathon?
We do not, but excited to see what other people are building, and it's a great opportunity for others to get involved and build something really cool.
For sure. Thanks very much. Rafa, how about yourself? Could you give us a quick just 2-minute overview about Kabila?
Yeah, I just would like to add that when we were at Denver, I was really happy about seeing how many people knew about Hedera. So it just means the ecosystem is growing, and many with the help of AI, we are seeing many different real use cases right now, and I think that helps a lot to the ecosystem.
For sure.
And from Kabila perspective, yeah, we have launched our V3 version that is a complete redesign of our apps. I think we will keep improving them over the coming months. And we offer a complete suite of tools for creators. We have a marketplace. We have an plazas, that it is a place for communities based on NFT gated to join, participate between each other. And we have a wallet. So I don't know what more we can build, but we will see. And we are focusing right now in Bravalta too, in this business line. We have a team of DLT and AI experts. So I think we will work in this branch too, and continuing to collaborate with the Hedera team the same way we've been doing. So yeah, the future sounds good.
Yeah, I look forward to it. I'm going to open it up to the floor now and just sort of ask a sort of generic question. Sort of, if you could say one thing to the community, what would it be, with one bit of advice for someone looking to get started on Hedera?
There's never been a better time to do something, craft a use case, make a great connections, hop onto Discord, spaces, show like this, connect with folks, have some fun. If it's with AI, all the better. Stay secure, have fun, or make new connections like we're doing right here. There's never been a better time than right now. The tech is absolutely ready. The mindshare is ready. The pool of talent also, and knowledge that is right here. We've spoken about mindshare earlier on the show. So if you are hesitating, do not absolutely hop on. Make this yours. Use all this pool of talent to your audience that becomes something else, and then you do it for yourself, and it's an infinite circle of just fun, great use cases, and everyone grows.
Awesome.
I'll jump in and give a big +1 to that. You know, not to mention it was great meeting you in person, Phil, and you know, at DevDay. And I think that's a fantastic insight or closing thought that you're sharing, that there's no time like the present. And that's even more true today with the tools and the opportunity that people have available to them. And so I do want to emphasize tools because, you know, when I think about the next 6 to 12 months, the market is providing fantastic tooling for everyone, for creators, for individuals, for enterprises. So be sure to take advantage of that. And then from our end in the Hashgraph sphere and also the Hedera ecosystem, we're doing our best to equip developers with the best possible tools so that you can have the best possible experience, right? So whether you're building on the EVM and want to come to Hedera, that experience, we're working to make it as easy as possible. And then we're working to give you AI tools, you know, skills, agents, you name it, better documentation, so that it's just very easy and very low friction to deploy and build something, whether we're talking about a mainnet deployment or a mainnet or a testnet deployment as you know, embark in those or in that building journey. So big +1 to what Phil said, and want to encourage everyone to give it a shot. Perhaps the most actionable thing that you could do today is sign up for that hackathon that we have going on right now, Hello Future Apex. So if you just go to hedera.com/hackathon, sign up, you know, figure it out one day at a time, join a team, find a team, and then I'm sure you can build something very compelling.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Ed.
One of the things I enjoyed talking about with people at ETHDenver, because a lot of people were focused on Ethereum and coming from Ethereum, as a builder in the community, sharing DOVU's perspective as a company that used to build on Ethereum, that has been building on Hedera for years, and why we chose Hedera and why what we're building doesn't actually make sense anywhere else, and some of the features that are really critical for high volume use case, like DOVU, and so that was a lot of fun. But it's also important because people don't necessarily realize how that EVM compatibility and what's possible to bring over, to migrate to Hedera from Ethereum so quickly and easily with the technology that's been built. So that was a lot of fun to discuss.
Awesome. Thanks very much, Julian. Rafa, do you have any closing remarks from Kabila?
Yeah, nothing. Just check out our apps. If anyone needs something, the team would be happy to set up a meeting with them. Yeah, although I'm more focused on the tech side, I do show up on social media from time to time. So, yeah.
Awesome. Glad to hear it. Okay, I think that's it. It's been great to hear what's been happening at Dev Day in Denver. Absolutely gutted I missed it, but I can't thank you guys enough for getting here and getting together and giving us the updates.
Of course, appreciate the invitation again, and see you next year.
Sounds good.
It was a great event. Thanks everybody for organizing it, and it was great to meet everybody in person. It's the friends that you make along the way that make all the difference, and it was a really fun event.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you for inviting us.
Thanks very much. Alyson, do you have any? Alyson, do you have anything you'd like to say before we drop off?
Yeah, just thank you all so much for supporting us in person at Dev Day. I'm really excited about the maturity of this industry. I mean, I was in Denver for the whole week as well. Unfortunately, got sick afterwards, but the 2 days that I was alive, I was at the booth all day talking with people back to back to back, really high energy at the booth. And it just seems like the people that showed up are the real ones that are still here, and they're building actual tangible projects, like the people that we have on this call right now. So just really excited for what's to come for our Hedera ecosystem and also for the space in general. Another shameless plug for HederaCon. If you're gonna be in town, it is on May 4th, HederaCon, or hedera.com/HederaCon, very easy to remember. But yeah, we'll keep doing more awesome events for our community. We'll never let you guys down with more exciting activities coming out from the events team. So yeah, thank you for having me here.
Thanks very much, Alyson. And James, I see you're back. I was looking on Neuron and seeing if I could see your bleep anywhere. Have you got any closing comments for us?
Yeah, I think what we're where we're heading towards at the moment is sort of around the physical world, and that's sort of our focus at the moment is trying to that next level of automation which we're seeing is moving from the digital to the physical world, and that's sort of where we see a big area of growth at the moment. Now, obviously, one of the things I think that we're seeing across the whole world at the moment is automation or autonomy. Most systems today have human in the loop. So, even autonomous vehicles, quite often, a lot of autonomous vehicles have someone behind the steering wheel. Drone pilots, they have someone behind the screen just to take over if something goes wrong. What we're going to see, I think, over the next 5 years is a lot of this human in the loop being removed. And to be able to do that, the problem comes is then you have to start getting towards assured systems or high trust systems, and being able to use Web3 technologies like Hedera to be able to create audit trails of events and interactions that have been going on is going to be extremely important as we sort of move into this new brave world that we're going to be living in. We need audit trails. We need deterministic behavior. And we also need to be able to have sort of trusted data sources with cryptographic ways of authenticating devices, so high trust environments. And I think this is where Web3 really has its huge benefits within this ecosystem. So I think AI, robotics, and these kinds of applications are really going to sort of get the most out of Web3. And I'm really excited to see what things are going to be like in 5 and 10 years' time, because I think the world's, we're seeing people building AI systems with AI. So the better AI gets, the better you can build AI. So it's kind of like a spiral, a flywheel effect where it's just going to get faster and faster and faster and faster. So I think it's, I don't know whether I can even imagine what the world's going to be like in 5 years' time, but I'm hoping that Hedera can be a big part of that, and Neuron can help enable some of those applications especially in autonomous systems.
Awesome. Thanks very much, James. Thanks everyone for coming. It's been great to have you here, and I can't thank you enough. Thanks very much.
Thanks again for the invitation.
Thanks for the invitation. Looking
everyone.
forward to seeing everybody at HederaCon.
That's good. See you then. Bye.
Thank you. Bye bye.